See them looking sideways, homie, let them.
And I'm back with another video, and this video is about surviving finals week. Now, these are some tips that I found that has helped me in my 4 years at college, and so hopefully these can help you. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna pass. I ain't gonna say you're gonna get an A. All I'm saying is it's gonna help you survive, like from Monday to Friday or to Monday to whenever your last exam is. This is going to help you survive your week. So let's get started with the tips. Number 1, make a schedule. You're going to want to write on your schedule when your exams are first. That's going to be the first thing you do. And then around that, you're going to put when you're going to study for each of those exams, or where you're going to do research for each of those presentations, or whatever the case may be. You're going to want to write that down because it will help you determine how you're going to study throughout the week, how you're going to plan the rest of your week, and everything else. So say if you have 2 tests on one day, but you know one of the tests are going to be harder than the other, then you're going to want to study for that exam first, or for a longer period of time than that other test that you have on that same day. So you definitely want to, again, make a schedule. Color coordinate it if you have to. Like, that's one thing that I did one time during my finals week. I made my biology exam red, and so on my schedule you saw was a bunch of red. That was because I knew biology was my struggle suit. So I knew that almost every day I was studying for that biology exam for like an hour or two. Not consecutively, maybe like an hour here in the beginning, early in the day, and then an hour later in the day, just because I knew that was going to be the biggest exam that I knew that was going to, that was gonna be my struggle. And you know what? I did good. I ain't saying I got an A, but I didn't get an F or a D. I got a C. And that's all I had need, because they ain't in my major. They ain't in my major. But moving on, like I said, you want to make a schedule. You want to have that planned out to a T if possible. So with making that schedule, also plan out your breaks. It doesn't have to be a big break. It doesn't have to be a long break. Just make a little small break to where you get to walk around the library, walk outside to get a little bit of fresh air. You just want to do something to where you are staying alert. You don't want to be sitting at a desk or in a cubicle or in your books like for 3 hours. No. Who wants to do that? Not me. Not I. I've done that. And it's horrible because I did that and I still didn't remember anything. Like, I remembered a little bit of it, but I was just kind of just like, so take those breaks because eventually you're going to get tired. And speaking of tired, all-nighters, those are a big no-no for me. I've tried it, didn't work. Like, I stayed up until 2 in the library with some friends, and then I was like, I'm getting tired. Sorry, y'all, but I got to stay out. It works in ways for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. So you can't see what everybody else is doing and make that your thing too, because it's not going to work that way. So all-nighters, big no-no. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to pull that all-nighter and then go straight to your exam and be tired in your exam because you were tired while you were studying, and you're not going to remember anything that you studied because you was half sleep studying. Because that REM sleep that you get when you go to sleep helps retain all of that information. I think it's REM sleep. See, if it's REM sleep, then you know what? I retained that information because I went to sleep. You feeling me? Are you feeling me? Okay? And you can also pull it all night and be like, well, I don't have my exam until later, so I'm going to stay all up until like 8, 9 o'clock, take a nap, get ready, go to my exam. Yeah. And then you wake up with 30 minutes left to get to your exam, and you still got a shower and all that stuff, and you get to your exam late, and then you don't got the same amount of time that everybody else had because you walk into class 30 minutes late because whatever, or you go into class funky. If you go into class funky, that is okay. Just make sure you get there if you pull an all-nighter. But again, I don't recommend it. I don't suggest it. You know what? I'll suggest you try it one time. Try it one time, see if it works for you. And if it works for you, then all this I just said can go out the door. But I know for me, it did not work. And I just do not recommend it because it's not good for your health, okay? Not good for your health. Tip number 2, make a study guide. Now, there's 2 different type of classes. You have your concept classes and then you have your problem solving classes. I'm going to start with your problem solving classes, which is calculus, physics, chemistry. All those classes are classes with equations. So sometimes those exams, they give you the equations, but you forget how to use those equations. So what you want to do is get 1 or 2 problems that you guys have done throughout the year, put it with that equation and do that, and write the steps out next to them, because you can get a word problem question that have you start from step 3 all the way to the end till you find the answer, or you might get one that starts at step number 1. So you definitely want to write out those steps just so you are on your toes and on point with using those equations in your classes. Now with your concept classes, these are the classes that's like sociology, biology, physiology, psychology, all the ologies out there. Any ology, expect some type of essay, expect a chart, expect a diagram, expect the unexpected, okay? So you always want to expect the unexpected, because there's going to be like I know with my exams, my teacher be like, oh, I'm going to give you 4 essay questions, but you have to pick 2. And he or she may or may not give you the topics of those essays beforehand, because if they do, then you're lucky. So you get to pick out the 2 or 3 that you know the most, or that you can find some information on and that you can write about. But if that professor doesn't give you those topics beforehand, you is out of luck. You is out of luck. And I don't mean that in a bad way, just it means you're going to have to study all the topics that you were given. So make a study guide. And that's one thing you gotta do. I'm sorry. Again, like I said, this is stuff that helped me. It may not help you, but it definitely helped me making a study guide. Another thing with study guide, you can make a collaborative study guide. Especially in those concept classes. There might be information that you may know that you can teach somebody else. And there may be information that person knows that they can teach you. And so you can guys go on a Google Doc or whatever documentation website that you guys have, and both be working on there at the same time, and then you guys can come together and work on it, and he can tell you and show you how he did this, or how he came up with that, or how he learned to retain it, or whatever the case may be. So definitely study guide. Sometimes I use flashcards. I use flashcards for definitions, but don't always rely on flashcards, because those are like fast retention learning for right before the exams. But making that study guide and having that to study throughout, and then those small little flashcards for those definitions that may be on your exam for the matching and the true or false and the multiple choice, they'll come in handy for that. Tip number 3. Now, tip number 3 kind of goes along with tip number 2, but it's still separate. Organize notes. I cannot stress organization. If you can have a notebook or a binder for each class, that will be great. I understand that is a lot. That is a lot of paper, so don't waste it. Right? When you're in class, you want to make sure you're taking all your notes. Well, you should have already taken all your notes, because it's finals week now. So you want to make sure you have all your notes written out in order from the first day of classes to the last day of classes. I understand if you're missing some notes, you can go ask somebody, but you don't want to rely on that person, because you can ask somebody for their notes and they don't have it. Or you can ask somebody for their notes and they give it to you, and you can't understand a lick of what they wrote on the paper because they got bad handwriting. Or they don't take as much notes as you take notes. So their notes might be less than what your notes would usually be, and then you're still well, is this everything? Then you're doubting those notes because you don't have your own. So organize notes and keeping those notes. Understand that's a lot of paper to waste. So if you can type it out, type it out. If you can write it out, write it out. Just have them. Organize them and have them. Have them and organize them. I cannot stress it. Have your notes. Organize your notes. Have your notes. Organize your notes. Have your notes and organize your notes. Okay, I'm done. And another thing with organized notes and having your notes is you never know what may happen during your finals week. Like right now, it's snowing. And in South Carolina, when we get snow, everybody just cancels school. Classes be canceled, school be canceled, nobody know how to drive on the roads. And that's understandable because we are not acclimated to this weather. I think that's the right word. But either way, you never know what may happen. So you might end up getting an online exam or a take-home exam that the teacher may send to you where you can use your notes and you look up like that. But then it's only lucky if you have them. Because say, yeah, you missed a day in class and so you don't have those notes and the teacher don't post the notes online and you got to ask somebody for the notes and that person takes horrible notes, you're going to be blook up. That's what my aunt like to say, blook up. And last but not least, eat and stay hydrated. Eat and stay hydrated. Eat and stay hydrated. Now let me tell you about eating and staying hydrated. You always want to have a snack while studying. Even if it's something small, you just want to have it. You also want to eat before you go into your exam. So like if you have an early morning exam, grab a bagel, grab some cereal, put it in a disposable cup with a plastic spoon and walk out the door and go to your exam. You always want to have something to drink, like a bottle of water preferred. You always want to have that with you. Just because you want to have something on your stomach, you don't want to be in class and then your stomach's growling at you mad as hell because you ain't give it nothing. And then you in class can't really think straight because you ain't eat. Always want to eat. And so if you can't eat, just grab like a little granola bar, something, because you can always go get a heavier breakfast or a heavier lunch or whatever the case may be after your exam. So just have something slight to put on your stomach before you go into your exam. But those are my top 4 tips for surviving finals week. Like I said in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. I ain't saying you going to pass the class. I ain't saying you going to pass the final. I'm just saying you going to survive. You going to survive. From your first exam to your last exam. From Monday studying to Friday. You just going to survive through. And I know y'all going to survive through. So if you have any tips for anybody, post them in the comments below. If you feel like this was helpful for you or not helpful for you, post that below. If you feel like I missed something or said something wrong, post it below. Just comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Because I'm here for you. See my pencil? Because you know what? I have my notes. I have my notes all written down so I can tell it to you guys. Had little notes on there, my little steps. Which ones I want to talk about, which one really worked, which one didn't work. And I give a little information about it, give a little definition about it. Have your notes. Be organized. So let's go over this one more again. Make a schedule. Make a study guide. Have organized notes. And eat and stay hydrated. They'll help you survive.
Baby, let's go.
Good music. Relax, little mind, sit back and chill. Hal Green playing several loans on the ground.